Good morning, Portland. Good morning, America. Good morning, all of the world. Welcome back to the JT and Johnny Show. Johnny here. Well, JT, it's been a fun one so far, buddy.
It has. We've had a good time.
Now, I think we have thick skin, right? Because you poke at me pretty hard, and I've had to toughen up a little bit. And I just kind of allow it. And I have to try to stick up for myself a little bit, pal. So I haven't hurt your feelings by anything, have I?
Oh, it's okay, Snowflake.
Well, whoa. Well, yeah, snowflakes are cool, but now you can't use snowflakes.
I'm kidding. I love me some Johnny.
It's kind of like the rainbow argument. I get on my rainbow high horse sometimes because I like rainbows, but can't have a bumper sticker with a rainbow these days. It's just an insurance issue. So I don't even know what that means. Anyway.
Well, man, tell us about your friend.
All right, so here's the thing. All right, so this last Saturday, so a week ago, a friend of mine, a mutual friend of many of my former coworkers, Julia Cole Rose was her name. She passed away. She was a volunteer. She was a fan of the Vols, and she was a sweet, sweet, sweet lady. Got the pleasure of working with her for better part of 2 or 3 years until she moved back to Knoxville to be close to her family. Now, Julia and I, we weren't BFFs. I didn't, speak to her late at night and talk about, late night soap operas or anything like that, JT. But she was certainly one of those people that always laughed, had a smile on her face, and that I always just had really good feelings toward, and just liked her, man. Just loved her. She was an awesome person, and she, like I said, she was a Vol fan, and she passed away on Saturday, and it just really struck me, made me really sad, which naturally that's the way it goes, and I thought, as Johnny the Poet for the Midday 180 out there in sports radio land, I thought maybe I would compose a little poem on her behalf, right? And
it's awesome.
Well, and it was spontaneous. I don't want to be ashamed, but I didn't commit just a whole lot of time, and plus I didn't make it just like a depressing. It was very Vol oriented. I was just kind of trying to make a point, and I thought it would be just kind of a cool way to give someone a shout out, just to remember, right? So I emailed one of the members at the station, and he emailed me back and said, "Hey, call at the end of the show." And I'm like, "Cool." So I put the word out on Facebook and tagged everybody I used to work with, like 50 people. And so everybody's tuned in to listen, and I called and I couldn't get through. So I kind of didn't really bode well for me. Okay, no big deal. And I'm like, "Hey guys, sorry, I kind of feel like an idiot there." So 2 days later, I called back and talked to the guy, and, "Hey Johnny, how you doing? We know each other." And he's like, "Sure, just wait on hold. We're going to get to you right at the end of the hour." And so I put out the notice again. I even had some friends that were still working where I used to work. They kind of took an unofficial break and went out to their cars and listened, and they didn't get to my call. They had other things going on. And at the end of the day, two things. One, they've got a big-time show, a 100,000-watt station, and things to get to. It just didn't work out in their schedule, right? And then B, I started to think about this, and I said, you know what? I don't want to call into their show. We've got our show. Now, we may not have the bandwidth of a 104.5 The Zone, right? We may not have that, but at the same time, this is our show. This is our chance to express ourselves however we see fit and spend the amount of time we'd like to. So I thought to myself, maybe that was good fortune or fate or the power that be, keeping that from happening and allowing me just to say, hey, we're going to take the time on our show as we see fit. And I just wanted to say, hey, Julia Cole Rose, you are remembered. You're missed, not forgotten. You brought a lot of smiles to a lot of people's faces. And I wrote this poem. It's not the greatest poem in the world, but for the sake of its existence, I feel inclined to share it. So think as if I were calling into the sports radio station as Johnny the Poet, okay?
Got it.
Gentlemen, thanks for the time. I know you have many calls. Yet on Saturday, I lost a friend. She was a true fan of the Vols. Now, if she had heard her Knoxville boys had won 45-0, she would have looked at me with her Tennessee smile and said, "Johnny, what a trip." Now, for time's sake, I'll end this as quickly as I begin. But gentlemen of Tennessee football, there's a little bit more meaning to your win. To me, you went out and took care of business for her, and you didn't even know it. Rest in heaven, Julia Cole Rose. A volunteer forever. Sincerely, Johnny the Poet.
Nice. Nice tribute, my friend.
Thanks, buddy.
Now, you're saying she worked with you guys at your previous job.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, how long had she been there?
She'd been there for years, a long time before me. So she was there when I got there, and I think I worked almost 3 years with her.
Okay.
So I saw her a lot, got to know her pretty well, and she was just a sweet lady.
Yeah.
And so I don't claim to have been her bestest of friends or to have the right to some type of to eulogize her in any way, but
Right.
I just think that sometimes when someone brings a smile to your face, take an opportunity to say, hey, we're giving you a shout out. You're going to be remembered, and we miss you.
That's good stuff, man. Well, that we would all have friends that would remember us when our day comes to an end. I'm sure that would be heartwarming to her family and loved ones and other friends that remember her with warm feelings and thoughts, and we wish all of them the best as they cope and as they move forward.
Thank you, JT. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, spinning this thing around, by the way, you're listening to the JT and Johnny show. JT, we've got Dustin Spears in the old green room. I pointed him to the coffee machine and the donuts, and
Donuts?
Yes, and Delmar, the cook, is here, and so he's cooking him up the omelet, fresh to order. So I told him to make sure he has his omelet.
Wow,
finished.
the omelet. We have an omelet station today.
Yeah, it's in the green room. You got to be a musical guest. So
Wow.
if you want to be on the show, you're going to come. You're going to get omelets made to order, fresh squeezed orange juice. None of the pre.
Any strawberry smoothies?
Strawberry smoothies are seasonal, as we
Gotcha.
know. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mhm. And usually I take care of making those, as we know.
Right. Well, you have some help from who was it? Was it Ian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ian.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Ian we just wrote and released a fireman song, and
Call me the fireman. Oh, different song.
Yeah. Well, it's good. It's a tribute to the men who put out them fires and saved people's lives. But I wanted to save it. We're probably going to package together like a whole fireman episode. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, we're putting it on a
legitimately.
calendar.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. And by the way, I know you don't like to wax nostalgia too much, but 2 weeks from now, it's our 1 year anniversary of this little show.
I know. How about that?
Yeah, we've got Amy Berger coming in studio that day. And then next week, didn't you say we've got...
Next week is the weekend before the Hendersonville Hometown Jam. The city of Hendersonville is celebrating its 50th birthday as a city.
Yep.
And they've got a pretty amazing lineup on Tuesday, October the 2nd. One of those artists and the promoter and planner of that event will be in studio on next Saturday, the 28th, to talk about the Hendersonville Hometown Jam. I mean, we're talking like Ricky Skaggs is going to be there. The Dale McCory Band is going to be there.
Wow.
One of the so many other people. Jamie Johnson is going to be there. And so one of those artists is going to be with us in the studio. Where they're not telling us which one yet. But
We've got a secret... This
we
is
have a
great.
secret artist.
Secret guest.
Yes.
That's pretty big time.
So we're looking forward to that. So why don't we take an early break to the news, carry us over the hour, and we'll come back, have chat a bit, and then get our artist on. And
Yeah, get to the favorite part of the show.
I know, which is why we are here. So you're listening to WQKR. It's the JT and Johnny show. Enjoy these messages and our local news right now.